Lily Rose Depp did an interview with Elle where she talked about, having her parents be celebrities and that, like they, the internet now cares so much about who your family is. And a lot of people in this position have been speaking about it, or they're being asked about it because it's a hot topic. So Lily Rose Depp was talking about it. Lily Collins was just asked about it as well. So I think it's like something that really comes up a lot now, but it is like, I don't know, what Lily Rose Depp said made people scratch their heads. And then Ireland Baldwin made a TikTok about it, and I felt like what she said really made a lot of sense. But she says in her Elle interview, Lily Rose Depp said she found it interesting that she rarely hears anyone refer to a man as a Nepo baby, but she said, it's weird to me to reduce somebody to the idea that they're only there because it's a generational thing. It just doesn't make any sense. If somebody's mom or dad is a doctor and then the kid becomes a doctor, you're not going to be like, well, you're only a doctor because your parent is a doctor. It's like, no, I went to medical school and trained. Ever careful, she's quick to add that she is by no means comparing her own work to that of someone in the medical field. She said, I just hear it a lot more about women. I don't think it's a coincidence.
Just a crazy comparison. Like, you need to get a license to become a doctor. You don't need a license to become an actress or model.
Right. It's a tough comparison. It's not the one that makes the most sense. Nepotism is something that exists across every like career path, maybe not every, but a lot of them. Even if you want to use the doctor example, like, yes, you have to go to school to be a doctor. You have to take tests. You have to everything. It's a long process. We all know that to become a doctor. It's very serious. But if you have parents who are doctors and they're successful and have done well for themselves, that maybe when you become a doctor, getting a job at a hospital where your parents know a lot of people could be helpful. Yes. And that's nepotism. So right. It definitely exists across a lot of fields, but it's more like you just have to acknowledge those things and not just, and yes, you are working hard. Of course, you are putting in the time, you are working hard. And if you get those opportunities and you fail, then that says a lot. But a lot of these kids get these opportunities and then they are very successful.
Right. Like Lily Rose Depp wouldn't be able to walk in Chanel at 5'3" if her dad was not Johnny Depp.
Right.
That's just a fact.
Right.
That's just a fact. There has never been a 5'3" model who has walked in a runway show.
Yeah.
Besides if it was a all-inclusive runway show where they have models of all different shapes and sizes.
Old school.
Chanel is not putting a 5'3" model in their show.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just the acknowledgement. So like Ireland Baldwin had posted a TikTok and it did make a lot of sense on what she said. She said, first of all, I do think Lily Rose Depp is beautiful. She's very capable of being a model. Like, she's proven herself that she can do it, of course. But that there are ways, that you get in the door because of who your parents are. She said, in anything that I pursue and anything that I do in my life, people are always going to say I have what I have because of my parents, which is true. I wouldn't be where I am. I wouldn't have gotten where I am and been able to do what I can do if it weren't for my parents. And I think really where you go wrong is denying that. You can continue to work hard and be your own person, and either you're talented, either you're capable, or you're not, which makes that, I think she sums it up perfectly. It's like, all these kids are getting opportunities, yes, because of who their parents are, and you can hate that. You can think that that's wrong, but it exists, and it's what they do with those opportunities. They could walk in the door and into an acting job and be god-awful, and they're not going to, we're going to go see watch the TV show or go see the movie that they're in. You're like, geez, he or she was really bad. Mm-hmm. And maybe they don't get more opportunities, but when it comes to just like working hard, they all work hard. But yeah, I think it's different. I think modeling is different too because, they're beautiful people. And yeah, they get the opportunity to go walk in the door, and it's going to help them. It's just just what's going to happen. There was a shit.
And I think it's okay. Like, if they were just like, yeah, it helps, then people will be like, yeah, good for you. That's how I look at it. Like, all right, good for them. And they got to get through the door.
Yeah.
They're acknowledging that, but they're still very talented and successful. Just because their parents or somebody doesn't mean they can't be talented and successful.
Yeah. Look, we're obviously not in this field, right? Like, we're not in the modeling world. There's a grind that these people go through that we have not experienced, but there is,
especially when you're 5'3". Like, you don't just,
right.
You don't just be,
yeah.
Not a lot of 5'3" girls are just becoming models.
Yeah. There was an Italian model, Vittoria Ceretti. She's big time. She's done campaigns for Chanel, Prada, Versace, all big names. She's been called like a modern day supermodel. And she commented on the Lily Rose Depp conversation, really just like in an Instagram story. She wrote, I just want to share a thought here because I can. I bumped into an interview of a so-called Nepo baby, or whatever y'all call it. Basically privileged daughter, son, cousin, niece, nephew, whatever, of some kind of celebrity. Let me tell you something. Yes, I get the whole I'm here and I work hard for it, but I would really love to see if you would have lasted through the first 5 years of my career. Not only being rejected, because I know you have an experience with it and you can tell me your sad little story about it. Even at the end of the day, you can still always go cry on your dad's couch in your villa in Malibu. But how about not being able to pay for your flight back home to your family? Waiting hours to do a fitting casting just to see a Nepo baby walk past you from the warm seat of his Mercedes with his driver and his friend assistant agent taking care of his mental health. You have no fucking idea how much you have to fight to make people respect you. It takes years. You just get it by free day one. I have many Nepo baby friends whom I respect, but I can't stand listening to you compare yourself to me. I was not born on a comfy, sexy pillow with a view. I know it's not your fault, but please appreciate and know the place you came from. Love, V. She didn't mince her words for sure, but that's clearly how she feels, and she's in the industry, and like you said, she's probably experienced maybe losing campaigns to these kids or something like that. But it's just the act of acknowledging it would really go so far. I think that's really all. It's what not people even are about
acknowledging it. It's about not saying things like that. It doesn't matter, right? Like, you can, it's not like Bella Hadid is always saying, my mom and my dad and this. People just respect Bella Hadid because she's never said, it's not because of them. You know what I mean? It's just about not saying that. Like, Lily,
these people are being directly asked about it now is the thing, because I think the Nepo baby conversation is so huge.
If you're asked, then of course
they're being asked about it.
Right. If you're asked, then of course you want to give the right answer. Yeah. And Lily Rose Depp just didn't do that. Like, she just gave kind of an absurd answer to the question.
Yeah. I do think that you really just, in those situations, it goes a long way to be like, yeah, you can acknowledge that you work hard and you're proud of the work that you've done. But you can also acknowledge that you got a lot of opportunities because of who your parents are. Mm-hmm. And that's just facts.
Right. And that's fine.
Yeah.
If my mom was Kris Jenner.
Right.
I would be real happy.
Totally. Totally.
I love my mom, but, it's like, of course, if you can have those experiences and those doors open, you're going to be happy about it.
Yeah, exactly. It's more just like the denial of like, I'm working hard and it's not because of my parents. It's like, no one's saying you're not working hard. It's just like, you have to acknowledge that it might be a little easier.
Yes.